Alright guys, so now we're on to significant figures. Now this is going to be a new concept to most of you, if not all of you. And to talk about significant figures, first thing I have here in front of me, I'm going to tilt this down just a little bit here. You can see I've actually got three balances. I'm going to tilt that back up now. So I've got three electronic balances. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put a penny on it. Now, these are three different ones. I have an electronic balance over here, and this electronic balance probably costs about $100 or so. So this first one's about $100 or so. And I'm going to take a penny and I'm going to place it on. So I'm going to place that penny on there and get a mass, and it tells me the mass is about 2.5. So this first electronic balance I have tells me the mass of that penny is about 2.5 grams. Okay, now let's go to the second electronic balance. The second electronic balance, a little more expensive. The second electronic balance is about $250. Okay, so take the penny. Let's place it on there. Okay, now for this second one, it tells us that our penny is actually a mass of 2.49 grams. Now, are these basically the same mass? They're close, but as you'll see, our first balance only went to one place to the right of the decimal place, to the tenths place, where our second balance goes all the way to the hundredths place. Now, our first one said that the number is 2.5 grams. The second one says 2.49. Now, since we didn't go to the thing over here, the number, the hundredths place in the first balance, it has to round this number. Okay? Let's use this last balance here. So, take the penny, put it on this last balance here. Okay. This last balance is a little more expensive. It's about a $600 balance. And this last balance told me this number is 2.496 grams. Alright, we'll look at this last one. Now this last balance took us all the way to the hundredths place. So, 2.5, 2.49, 2.496. As you can tell, these balances are pretty close together. However, the more expensive the balance you buy, you get some extra numbers added on. Right? In science, we call this significant figures. This balance only goes to the 10th place. So anytime I ever use this balance, I can only be as accurate as to the 10th place. This second balance here goes to the 100th place. So this balance goes out to the accuracy of the 100th place. Pretty good. But this one even goes better. It goes out to the 1000th place. Even more what we call significant figures. Okay? So you see that 6 and that 9 and that 4, so you can kind of see the numbers there as they match up. So we're going to talk about what is a significant figure and how you identify them, and eventually how you calculate them. Alright, so as we just saw there, we have different pieces of equipment that can give us these numbers to different decimal places, these significant figures. Now we're going to help you identify that if you weren't the one that used a piece of equipment, but you're just given some numbers, how many of them are significant and how do we use that? Okay, so we're going to get into our PowerPoint right now. Let me get my pen up. There we go. Alright, significant figures. Now, if you look in the book, there's a whole bunch of rules that talk about how to write a significant figure. But I found out that there's a really easy way to do it. Okay, there's a really easy way to do significant figures, and that's this. We look at the number we're given. All right. We physically have to see if there's an actual decimal place written, if there's a decimal point written. Okay. For example, this first number here, there's no decimal point, but in the second number, we can actually see the decimal point. Okay. So we look for the decimal point. Okay. So let's look for, that's decimal, point. Alright, that'd be like step 1. Step 2, if it's present, so if it's present, we're going to start Okay? From the left. Okay? If it's present, we're going to start from the left. If it's absent, we're going to start from the right. Okay? So if we look at the decimal place, if it's present, we start from the left. Absent, we start from the right. Well, oops, let me go backwards. I don't know what just happened there. Sorry about this. Okay, there we go. And so next, what does that mean if it's present, it's absent? So, what we mean to the left or right is we just go to look at the whole number and go to the all the way to the left or all the way to the right, and we're going to start counting the numbers. But we start counting at the first not known. Let's try that again. Non-zero number. And step 4. Once you start counting, count all the numbers. It's really bad handwriting. Sorry about that. So let's go through these steps and see. So number 1, look for the decimal point. Okay, in this first one, 123, there's no decimal point. If the decimal point, this place is absent then, so 123, there's none, we're going to start from the right side. So let's go to this right side. We're going to start counting from right to left at the first non-zero number. That means a number that's not 0. That 3 is not a 0, so we start counting there and all the rest, and they are called significant digits. So I want to know how many digits are significant. We have 1, 2, 3. So 3 significant figures. We'll call them sig figs. That's how we say it for short. All right, let's look at this next number. 56.78. Okay, look for the decimal point. It's present. Okay, if it's present, we're going to start from the left side this time. So we're starting from the left. Go from left to right, counting the first non-zero number. Well, that 5, not a 0, so count it, and then all the rest are significant. So in this number, we have 4 significant figures. Okay? Now, once you start getting zeros, it's a little tricky, but I promise you it's not too bad. So we go, 1200. There's no decimal place written, so it is absent, so we're going to start from the right side. Go to the left, counting the first non-zero number. We start going from the right side to the left, and, oh, that's a 0. Do not count it. That's a 0. Do not count it. Boom, there's a 2. It's not a 0. Count that one and all the rest. In this case, this just has 2 significant figures. Let's look at a very similar number. 1200.0. If this was the case, look for the decimal place. We found it. Is it present or absent? Well, it's present since we found it. So if it's present, we start on the left side and go left to right. First non-zero number, we come to the 1. Oh, that's not a 0. So we start counting. Once we get to a number, we start counting. And once you start counting, you count all the rest. So in case of 1200.0, we started counting at this 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. All 5 are significant. Okay, let's look at the next one. Decimal place present. If it's present, we start from the right. Okay, sorry. What am I saying? If present, we start from the left. That's what I said. All right, start from the left. Oh, that's a 0. Don't count it. 0, 0, don't count. Boom, 4. Aha, once we count that one, we start counting the rest. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And so on this one, there are 4 significant figures. All right, let's look at this one. No decimal place. So we start from the right. That first 0 doesn't count, but once you start counting, count all the rest. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 significant figures. Oh, looky here, we got scientific notation. All right, when doing sig figs with scientific notation, we don't really care about this times 10 to the 5th. All right? In terms of how many sig figs there are, we just look at the number in front. Decimal place is present. If it's present, we start from the left. So count the first non-zero number, the 4, and everything else. Remember, we just count these. So 1, 2, 3 significant figures. Last one on this page. Decimal place present or absent? Well, it's present. So we're going to start from the left side. Then don't count it. Don't count that 0, that one. Start at the 1 there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 significant figures. That's how you do sig figs. So, you try. Pause it. Try to tell me how many significant figures are in these numbers. And then once you unpause, check them over. And I'll start doing them right now. So this first one here, you have 3. This next one here, we're going to have a total of 3. Decimal places present. We're starting from the left. Those zeros don't count. Oh, we got scientific notation. We're just looking at these. Decimal places present. Start from the left, go right. 4. I gotta be careful here. The decimal place is absent, so we start from the right. And guess what? That 0, and that 0 do not count. This one just has one significant figure. 40.0. Oh, start from the left and go right. And this one has 3. 0.4500100. Start from the left. That 0 doesn't count, but start counting there. All the rest do. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And on the last one here, no decimal place. Start from the right. Oh, but we count that 1, so all the rest count. 6 significant figures. And that's how you do sig figs. Ask questions, write them down if you got them at home. Ask them when you come in. We'll get a hang on this. All right? Cool.
Rose Cornell and Brianna Perko